Howdy denizens, and welcome to a brand spanking new Blu-ray bullshit. It has been a while.
It has been a while. Tonight, on this glorious of Cackalacky Eves, we are here to review the much anticipated Blu-ray release of Taxi Driver. That's right. We promised it, you're getting it. So,
months in the pipeline.
Yeah.
We've been working on it. We've been writing notes, have we not?
Yes, notes.
For 4 months straight.
Reams of notes. You were saying something about getting reamed when you were watching this. I thought that's what you were referring to.
You were muttering something about Harry Reams and his acting chops.
I don't know. Anyway, so...
But do you want to explain to the folks the new program, the new situation?
Yes.
Cackalacky movie.
Yes, what we're gonna do, we're the field trips, okay. Just to be honest, we're broke. You know? I mean, there's really no other way to put it. You see what we buy, our income levels are modest at best. So the field trips
we're immortals, man. We are immortals.
We are immortals, but we're broke immortals. Even Superman had to, he had to throw a third mortgage on the Fortress of Solitude a while back. So,
I think so, man. You know,
it's basically what we're going to do. We're going to be alternating between the Blu-ray bullshits and the field trips, and we're also going to try to work some more varied field trips in there. So. Just be watching out. We're going to be doing some unboxings,
or you could just pretend
collection videos.
You could get you a wheel, just right here, and then we could just.
Yeah.
We need a green screen, is what we need.
That's what we need. Yeah. Oh, watch out for that grizzly bear. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need green screen, Naked Gun style. That's what we need.
But all joking aside, I think we actually are going to get a green screen sometime in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
So we can
start, something. Have some kind of thing going on back here. But we're going to be doing some collection videos because people have requested Criterion collection videos. So we may pull our Criterions and do a collection video on that. I think
there'll definitely be a field trip wherein I will go to your house, basically.
Yeah.
Because people have been wanting to see your entire collection. And we can just do an overview.
Could be a 3, 4, 5-parter if you wanted it to be.
I don't think they want 5 parts.
I don't think you do either.
2 parts might be okay.
Maybe.
Like a quick overview,
Exactly.
Very quick.
Exactly. But let us not talk too much about ourselves, and let us talk more about Taxi Driver. Now,
Taxi Driver, yes.
I have absorbed this movie twice since it came out on Blu-ray, and I gotta say, as far as catalog titles go, as far as honestly anything goes, it's one of the most film-like experiences I've ever seen on Blu-ray.
Top 5.
Yes.
So far. Probably catalog titles released.
For being my all-time favorite movie, this really gets my rocks off, Yeah. It was basically what you're getting when you watch this movie is a perfect transfer, a perfect copy of the 4K scans of each individual frame. And the transfer...
You're getting a film print, basically.
Yeah, you're
a very nice film print.
Exactly, you are.
And when you're watching it, the experience is not like... Here we have it playing on a plasma.
Yeah.
It's not like watching plasma technology producing the image. It's like there is a projector projecting the image onto... That's what it looks like. I mean, that's...
You get the grain.
It's astonishing.
You get everything.
You get every detail. You get... But it's the subtleties that really...
pop out at you. I mean...
it's flawless. It's absolutely flawless.
You can practically reach out and lick the grime on the mid-70s New York streets, folks. I mean, that's how down and dirty this film gets. The transfer was supervised by Michael Chapman, who was the DP, and that does not always mean double penetration, folks. In this case, it means director of photography.
Is that what that means? Like when I go to those websites and it says, it's got categories, right?
Just don't
DP.
Click, just don't click on the DVD.
I always wondered what that means.
You don't want to know what DVDA is, but anyway.
Okay.
Michael Chapman, the DP, and Martin Scorsese, and it really shows because nothing's been spared on this. Sony really did a first-class job, and I'm the first person to shit on Sony, but they did a killer job.
The packaging is of course awesome.
Exactly.
You've got Travis Bickle here, a very three-dimensional looking image.
Yes.
The letters are definitely embossed, and then you open it up, Of course, the disc is not in there because it's playing over here. We're looking at it.
Yeah.
And you have some more pictures here.
And then it's
and you open up.
gatefold cover.
But I have a question. Do you think this was originally intended to be a 2-disc release? Because of that panel right there seems a little...
I don't think so. I think it was just a more graceful way of placing those postcards.
Yeah, because there is this picture that goes right across.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And of course it came with...
One of Scorsese's couple of cameos in that movie. One, well, that's not really a cameo, but he's also sitting there as the femme fatale of the flick walks into the Palatine office right in the beginning during the "No one can touch her."
There's a dozen of these reproduction lobby cards and posters.
Back, behind the scenes pictures.
I actually used to have an 8x10 of this signed by Robert De Niro.
Nice. What'd you do with that?
I have no idea. I lost it. Yeah. Even worse, There's the 13-year-old
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster, who
went on to inspire the assassination of John Lennon. Yeah.
Well, went on to inspire. Oh, the assassination of John. No, the near assassination of Reagan.
The near assassination of Reagan. Yes.
Yeah.
John
And he was actually let out of prison just a few years ago.
He gets out on furlough to go see his parents.
I think he was let out for good, dude. Finally.
Really?
Yeah.
He was. I've looked that up. Yeah.
Look that up. There's this famous mohawk, which I always thought, when I first saw this movie as a kid on VHS, and I knew that it came out in, what, 75, 76?
Yeah, 76.
76. I always thought it was really cool, not knowing much about 70s culture or even 80s culture at that point, not being as aware as I am now. I always associated mohawks with the 80s.
The punk rock movement. Yeah, this predates.
I always thought the 80s, and knowing that this came out in 76, I always thought it was so cool that, he had this...
Yeah. Well, in Vietnam, guys knew they were going into a battle they weren't going to come back from. They did the mohawk. So that's kind of where that comes from, I'm sure.
And
you can't beat
the very beautiful Sybil Shepherd. And, of course, Harvey Keitel's small but infamous role.
Sport. Little piece of chicken.
He calls you a little piece of chicken. You like that?
So, and the thing about this movie is, I think, it's, I don't want to classify it as a strictly guy movie because it's not, but as a guy who's watched this movie probably in the high 2 digits, maybe even 3 digits times, if you're a guy who's a loner at all, you've been a Travis Bickle at some point. You've been the guy who's just...
You can identify with this character.
Exactly.
Which probably sounds awful.
Really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We take it back, but not really.
No, I never, never planned any assassinations or anything, but...
There were things about this character you could identify with.
Exactly.
Especially when you're a little bit younger. You've moved on from high school, and you're still yet to meet the friends of your adult years.
And you're in that
you're in that lonely period. This movie speaks to a lot of people in that period.
Trent Reznor actually watched this movie over and over and over again while he was writing Pretty Hate Machine. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, and if you listen to that record, you can actually hear Taxi Driver in the background at times.
Cool. So, speaking of music and Taxi Driver, Bernard Herrmann.
Yes. His final
did the score. Yep. You just looked it up. Said he died mere hours after reviewing the...
he finished up this score, reviewed the rough cut of what was going to be his next project, had dinner, and then went back to his hotel room and dropped dead. Well, he didn't drop dead. He was already dropped. He was laying there. He died in his sleep of coronary artery disease, I believe.
Of course, everyone's sad that he went, but I think he went out on a high note.
Hell of a way to go out, because, one of the best film scores of all time. The score is a character in this movie. Watch it again and see if you don't agree.
And what's interesting is that when Scorsese was doing the sound mix for this movie, there's a lot of scenes where Travis Bickle will pull up in the car, and you've got that, very brassy Bernard Herrmann score.
Yeah. Very dissonant kind of thing that happens.
And the mix was pretty fair. You had sound effects and you had the score. Well, Bernard Herrmann came in and listened to it and said, "Why are those sound?" He was apparently very curmudgeon-y at this point, and was ranting about the sound effects ruining his score. So Scorsese pretty much dropped the sound effects down to nil, and that's one of the reasons why the movie is the way it is. Genius, I mean, it sort of changes the way it feels atmospherically. Exactly. When you have that score dominating those scenes.
Yeah, and Bernard Herrmann was actually recommended to Martin Scorsese by another directorial legend, Brian De Palma.
That's right.
Yeah, so who made some made a pretty good New York movie himself with Paul Schrader, Cruising.
A personal favorite of yours, I know.
That movie's also, I love any movie that captures gritty 70s New York.
Yes.
Because the New York that I went to for the first time in the 90s was
polished,
pretty clean and pretty safe, and it was, I didn't see any dead fellows laying on the sidewalk. There weren't any pimps kicking back, drinking Schlitz malt liquor like you have in one of the scenes in the first 20 minutes of this. You had none of that.
This is what you wanted to see.
That's what I wanted to see.
And instead you got the candy-coated,
right.
Tourist.
Yeah, very friendly. Very friendly, welcoming New York. I wanted to get shivved.
That's what I got. When I went there, I was shocked at how friendly everyone was. I mean,
they're friendlier than they are here in the South. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
here.
How you doing?
You're trying to get into that subway car and it's closing. Here, let me hold that, push that door open. Come on, you can get in. Come on, you can fit in.
You need an umbrella? Here, take. Somebody gave me their umbrella.
Yeah, and I think probably your quintessential New Yorker has always been that way, and it was just the bad apples that always ruined the big apples.
It must be, because there was always that...
There's a better community culture up there than there is here.
Yeah, I mean, there was always that cliche shoved down your throat that New Yorkers are rude.
Yeah.
They're running around, they're pushing you out of the way, they're cussing you out, and that was just not the case at all.
Yeah, you think, when I was growing up, you think New Yorker, you think those guys that John Leguizamo's character hung out with in Summer of Sam. Another great New York movie, by the way.
Yes, a very underrated movie, in my opinion.
Yes,
very. Underrated. I would love to have that on Blu-ray.
Oh, fuck yeah. And the sucky thing, I have that on DVD. I think it's non-anamorphic.
That really sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Taxi Driver, okay? This movie, when it came out, could be had at Walmart for $13.99. And I got mine on
$12.99.
$12.99.
$12.99. Yeah, $12.99 at Walmart and $12.99 pre-order on Amazon.
That's how I got mine.
We both got it. Yeah,
mine came day of release. Showed up on my doorstep. I eagerly popped it into my Blu-ray player and queued up a few select scenes because I was on my way to work, but I couldn't resist the pull.
Yeah.
And just. Honestly,
it's like watching it for the first time, like most Blu-rays. But for us, I mean, our first introduction was VHS. Right?
My first introduction to Taxi Driver was DVD, actually.
My first introduction was VHS, and it was obviously, I can't remember if it was pan and scan or cropped for 4:3 or widescreen. I honestly can't remember.
Some kind of butchered, yeah.
But it had a very gritty, honestly. There's a bit of nostalgia for me for going back and watching VHS.
Yeah.
Especially for a movie like this, because I mean, as beautiful as this Blu-ray looks,
it does.
There's something about the gritty, horrible transfer, not a horrible transfer, but just VHS, kind of adds to the atmosphere.
Get it on there and get it out there for product, yeah.
But Scorsese, being so involved in film preservation, of course, he's going to do a great job on his own film, Taxi Driver.
Right.
Really, this release is Criterion level or above.
Above, in my opinion.
Because, I mean...
it's actually got the Criterion commentary track with Paul Schrader and Scorsese, yeah.
Which they said was recorded in '86, but I don't think that's correct. I think that's a misprint, because when I was listening to it, Scorsese was referencing Goodfellas in the past tense.
Yeah.
So
it would have had to have been after '89 then.
Yeah, it was in early '90s. I think somebody said '93 actually.
That would have made more sense, because a lot of the Criterion Laserdiscs just weren't featuring the commentary until later.
But the first commentary ever, I believe, was for the '84 release of either King Kong or Citizen Kane.
I believe it was Citizen Kane.
Yeah, Citizen Kane.
I believe it's that one that I have.
You've got that the LD
Laserdisc, yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. But honestly, you can't go wrong with this Blu-ray.